quick message to say that we understand that addiction, mental health and real life is a very serious subject. Although we try and keep a light-hearted and often humorous approach to the subjects on this show, we understand that times are not always easy. If you are struggling or are suffering with something, then we urge you to seek the correct help or at least speak to someone. Though we are not doctors or experts in this field, our DMs are always open to anyone. We are not immune from the harsh realities and struggles that come with all mental health issues, and we are here to help and listen to anyone who reaches out. You are never alone, and we thank you again for listening and watching.
Are you working? What kind of work do you do?
Okay.
What you might notice behind my shoulder, you see that? I've got a little...
Yeah. Football kits.
Wow, mate. For my 100 days...
Yeah.
Bought myself a little trinket.
Right, okay.
And it ended up being several trinkets. I don't know if you can see these.
Pin badges, Keith Senior.
Yeah.
Are they pin badges?
Yeah, the pin badges. Remember the old shirts you used to get?
Yeah, I've got a whole drawstring bag of them in the garage.
Have you really?
Yeah.
That is amazing. So I was searching for a Keith Senior poster for my 100-day Boxing Day trinket, but this was all I could get.
That's amazing.
And to be quite honest, I'm pleased with it.
Yeah, why is there one missing though?
Oh, well, that is a disappointment. He obviously only had 7. They just came as his full collection. This guy had like every player as well. Like I went onto his profile and he just had a load of old school Leeds Rhino players. He must have collected them over the years. But
I wonder whether Keith's got the other one. Keith bought the other one off him. You can have a dub siren for 100 days because that's fantastic.
What, can I have a choice again? Because
Lick last time.
Lick was underwhelming. I've got to be honest.
Yeah,
he did. It really did. I can't remember what options we had.
There's many. You can have.
Why don't you pick for me this time? Let's take the pressure off me.
I like an M gun, so I think maybe an M gun might
for
be
100 days.
100 days. You ready?
Yeah. That is a bit more like what I was expecting.
Much better.
I'm happy with that, yeah. I'm glad we went with Lick for just the test.
Yeah. I've just remembered, and this is going to make the episode a fantastic one. For your 100 days, I can't give you a real life trinket, so I thought we could maybe give each other digital trinkets.
I like it.
So I've not got you anything, but I've found you a potential gift for, we've mentioned boldness a couple of times, might be a topic we discuss further. So a few companies out there, and I've found the best of the best.
Right.
And the company are called Bosley, which I think is a funny word anyway. And they specialise in hair regrowth. And they've came up with a baseball cap that lasers your head while you're
one of the more profound things
while you're just out and about, and it stimulates hair growth. So I'll see what
Ryan
you
Giggs
think.
and Wayne Rooney had to wear those lasers, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, what on that? What, the cap?
Back then it was like a little, like shellac nails.
Yeah. Look at this.
Where they dry them.
easy to use, effective, and of course, we have it right here at Bosley.
Look at the state of this cap.
Wearing this super comfortable
Look at that.
cap at home for just 30 minutes every
Super comfortable.
the other day.
Fucking hell, it's like a cricket helmet.
Could you imagine just
walking around, yeah.
Could get
with a tube out the back as
you
well?
noticeably thicker
That one.
hair in about 17
And can you imagine like a delivery coming? You couldn't get it off your head sooner, could you? Noticeably thicker hair.
weeks.
There's
And
one where
that's
he
just when you
look,
use
she
the
puts it on.
revitalizer by itself. When you use low-level laser therapy in conjunction
Not sure
with
she
other
needs
Bosley
it.
treatments, your results may be intensified. Secret. Mad hair
Let's see.
follicles
There's
are
one more good
revitalized
shot
flow and
of the
rejuvenate
Bosley
cell growth.
hair
Pretty
revitalizer.
cool.
Here we go.
Start improving the fullness and thickness
That could be you.
of
That could be you.
your hair today.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not really one. What any of those results blokes were not really who I would just label as me, just the average.
Yeah,
They all looked a bit model-like to me. They
but
didn't look
also
like the
not great as
average.
well. Like they all look like they had their own problems to me. The hair being the least of their worries.
Right,
One had
okay.
them leather jackets with no collar. You know what Darius Dinesh used to wear, or Ricky Martin.
Ricky Martin, yeah.
Ricky
Oh
Martin,
God, I know what you mean now, yeah.
like a leather
Yeah.
jacket with a buckle. That one of them
So
had
that's
them.
yes, yeah, yeah, like a vicar's dog collar almost.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
of
Sort
those.
that. Don't worry
So
about the
that
Bosley the
yeah,
Bosley
don't
hat.
worry.
Get the
Get
jacket
that
sorted.
leather jacket sorted.
So that was my 100-day trinket online trinket for you.
Thank you very much
I
for
don't know
that.
what it's achieved, but
I
there's only
think
so much I can do.
I can't see either of us getting one. How much are they? Did you have a look at how much
I've
they
had a
retail
look. There's three options. You can
You
get
would
one with
have. I knew you would have had a look.
78 diodes, and then there's one with like 140 diodes, then one with
No.
190, and they're like a grand. So,
Wow.
do you think if we ever had like a big enough following, we could all club together
Yeah.
and have
Just
like a
have a
dirty
whip
work
round.
Bosley hat that we could like do online seminars wearing it? Just
Dispel the myth. I can't see it doing anything either. I can't see
other
what is
than
that going to
other
fucking
than
do.
spreading rumours that Rich Harris is mental. He's wearing this hat with a cable that comes out the back of it, and there's LED lights reflecting bright red on his bald head, and he thinks it's going to grow his hair.
Why do they need to make a cap of it like it's a fashion accessory?
Yeah,
Because
that's
you
this
could
is
make that, you could literally, as we've said before, you could make that like out of an armadillo shell. Because you are not wearing that anywhere other than at home, are you? Like I say, if someone knocks on the door with a delivery, it's
I'd be
coming off.
mortified. Yeah,
So what the point? What is the point of making it aesthetically pleasing?
yeah.
Because no cunt is wearing that out and about. Just got my Bosley on, lads.
What'd you get for Christmas? I just got new Bosley. You seen the new
Yeah,
one? New
yeah,
Bosley's out.
yeah.
I wonder whether I'll keep an eye on him. I'll see if they do a new
Don't
design or
even put a
anything.
peak. Don't need to put a peak on it. Save some money.
No,
Charge 950 for it, lads. Take the peak
because
off because
the
I'm not
peak
wearing it out.
the peak does suggest that they want people to wear it
Yeah,
outside in the sun.
yeah. Not wearing it
Golfing.
outside. Just going golfing in the Bosley.
Isn't it?
It is 11:06 New Year's Eve
Yeah,
AM here,
yeah. And it's 10, o-
and
10, 10 p.m. here, New Year's Eve. So, yeah, I think my tone of voice sort of
you're obviously having a
suggests.
big one. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. My tone of voice sort of says a lot about how I feel. Don't know why. Just I can't be arsed with it. I just and I was speaking about it earlier to Brody, and she was like, "You're such a sourpuss." Like I was like, I'm not being a sourpuss. I just don't want anything to do with it. The older I get, the more I'm just like.
yeah.
And I had a bit of a rant that I may have posted on the Instagram page. That it was quite late last night, and like I'm happy to stay up late when it's not New Year's Eve, but as soon as it's New Year's Eve, I'm like, I want to be in bed early just to sort of spite the
Really?
system. Yeah,
I've never done that. I've always been awake for New Year.
yeah,
Always been awake. I've got to be honest. I'd sort of slightly side with Brody here. This year, you do seem a bit anti-Christmas and New Year. You have been. Whether it's because the podcast has given you that platform this year and it's a bit more under the microscope, I
yeah,
don't know. But you've definitely been. Can't wait to get it out of the way. When's January coming?
yeah. It's weird because everyone says that I'm like I, I'm a stickler for traditional values around Christmas as well, though. So
Right.
I'm like to the kids, like you're not allowed. Like I make them wait until I put it. They have to come into Band Aid. Do they know it's Christmas to open their presents and stuff? Like you're not allowed to open until the verse starts. No Christmas films can be watched until December, apart from
Yeah,
Home
I'd be
Alone
behind that.
and
I would.
and Home Alone 2. That for some reason it's a
That's,
tradition.
that's allowed all year round. Home
Yeah,
Alone.
um,
Right. Okay.
and I'm a real stickler for these traditions. But then the actual
Can we not call them
enjoying the
Christmas? Not call them Christmas traditions. Let's call them Sam's military, Sam's
yeah,
military demands, or whatever they are. Because that's they don't sound like Christmas traditions upheld by many, if I'm honest.
okay, but the actual fun part of Christmas,
Yeah,
the
it sounds mad.
unorganised, yeah, fun part, I think is what I struggle with, and maybe I have clamped down a little bit too hard this year, and that's being felt by my immediate
Maybe,
friends and family, I think. So
maybe it
yeah,
is.
sorry about that.
It wasn't bothering me,
Yeah,
but you have sent me one or two voice notes, and I've thought, wow, it's a bit, you are a bit anti-Christmas this year.
did
You
I?
just want it's the routine, I think you want back, isn't it? And that's like joking aside, like we have a laugh about it, but I think for me and you, I would say we're pretty similar. Like having that routine of sobriety, the dirty work as it is huge, isn't it? And when that disappears, because it's hard to keep that through Christmas, isn't it?
Yeah,
Everything, like you say, does go to chaos. Like bedtimes go out the window. Just the nuts and bolts of life. Like people are like, fuck it. We'll stay up late. We're going to eat chocolates for breakfast. People are having Bloody Marys and champagne, for breakfast on Christmas Day and stuff. And that order of life disappears. And it's hard as somebody who's trying to stay sober. It's hard not to let that routine go yourself, isn't it?
it is hard. It's like technically hard as well because there's desserts getting passed round that are alcoholic, and there's like coffee liqueurs that, like back when I was drinking, I still wouldn't have considered them to be a drink. If you're not like an alcoholic drink, you'd have like a Tia Maria with your mum, or I've never had a Tia Maria with my mum. That's a lie, but like like coffee
Yeah.
liqueurs and chocolates that you bite into, and there's alcohol in them and stuff like that, and tiramisus and trifles, which I don't know, I've never liked anyway, but I feel like it's technically hard to stay sober at times at Christmas because it
Really?
is like it's in all the desserts and that. So
Yeah, see,
yeah,
I
it's a
don't,
minefield.
I haven't gone that hard on it. I don't
Mm,
know. I couldn't tell you if I've had an alcoholic I know, like, when I first decided to get sober, like, I had this thing where my friend was cooking with red wine, and I was like, can I have that now? I don't
yeah,
know. But I think I've just decided you can. Like, if somebody puts red wine in a spag bowl or something, then
yeah,
cooks the alcohol out anyway, doesn't it? I
I
don't know.
think so. Yeah,
Sound like an absolute, probably sound like a pair of morons now.
you'd have to do like a full man versus food to get the effects of any red wine that gets cooked with. The amount of
Yeah,
bolognese you'd have to get down, you would be obscene.
I feel like that's a gauntlet thrown down though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Someone actually asked. We actually had a listener question about where do you stand on non-alcoholic beers.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, and I know me and you've spoke about that before, but like, do you still like an alcohol-free beer and stuff, or how do you feel
I do.
about them?
They've been great this Christmas for me personally, which I'm sure we'll get onto my Christmas as a first, a debut at the wicket of sobriety. But non-alcohol. I have sat in rooms, as they are described. I've sat with people in groups where they have had an opposite opinion to me, shall we say, of non-alcoholic drinks. They don't believe, you should be allowed them. They believe they're just a gateway back into drinking, and I don't see them as that. I actually really enjoy them. I only said not last night, the night before. I was watching Barrow, and they were 3-0 up against Tranmere, and they played.
I forgot that you follow Barrow, but I was thinking it was like a regional detective series called Barrow.
In fact, that is, if we've often spoken about writing something, haven't we?
Call it Barrow.
Yeah, Barrow.
Yeah.
That could be he could be a regional detective.
An alcoholic detective. Yeah.
Barrow, and that's his name.
Yeah.
No, I mean the literal Barrow in
Yeah, you were watching
Yes, I was
Barrow.
watching them. So they were 3-0 up, and I went and got, at half time, I went and got my favourite, which is an Erdinger Zero. And it was freezing cold, and I just sat there and I said to Lauren, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. My team was 3-0 up. I just had like half a fruit and nut Toblerone. And I just poured a non-alcoholic drink, and I was like, I genuinely mean this, like, I did, wouldn't have took like a beer if I'd had the choice. If I wasn't beer, I wouldn't wanted a beer. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
like the non-alcoholic drink was perfect,
Yeah.
absolutely perfect for me. I wasn't having it because I was putting something in the place of beer. That's what I'm trying to say. I wasn't having a replacement beer. I was having something like a non-alcoholic drink that I wanted to have. It's absolutely
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, I don't know about your opinion on them, but I think they're brilliant. I
Yeah, I
really
just think
do.
it's purely a case, but I think the whole sobriety, alcoholism, addiction, it's purely case by case. Like for some people, they can completely change their drinking habits and then still have a beer every now and then. They can still drink at Christmas and then maybe learn to go back to moderating or controlling it. Some people probably can't have a non-alcoholic beer because it ends up tipping them into, I'll have a 0.5%, or I'll have a 1.5%, I'll have a mid-strength, I'll have a full strength. They'll tip back into that. I just think it's each by each. That's not a word. Case by case, sorry.
Yeah.
Each by each.
Yeah. No,
I've not really got an
heard...
opinion on them. It's like...
No, yeah. That's right, yeah.
I think they're a helpful tool for sure for like feeling a part of a social environment where you can't be asked to explain yourself to people who you don't know very well. You can just get away with pouring a non-alcoholic beer into a glass if you feel not comfortable enough to go, I'm not drinking or whatever. You just want to fit in, have a quiet night where you don't have to fucking talk about it. It's very handy in that situation. Yeah. So how we've sort of touched on how pissed off in general. I haven't been pissed off during Christmas either, I'd like to add. Like day to day, I've been enjoying it. I think I struggle with just everyday interactions at times when I'm not like in that routine of going to work, coming back from work, having a shower, having dinner and going to bed, which I do like doing. I don't know, it's extra stimulus all the time for me at the minute, and I think it just doesn't bring out a good side of me. And I tend to go to my go-to sort of habits that I now have as a person who doesn't take drugs or drink. Like, I've got other things I do now to sort of settle me down and relax me, but I can end up just putting all my effort into that and then just being completely distant in the house and stuff, which isn't, you're just doing the same thing. It's just you're not using a drug, I guess. So
Yeah.
It's every Christmas I seem to learn more and more and enjoy it more and more, but also struggle with aspects more and more as well. So it's it is fucking hard at times, Christmas, and like I think the easiest way to spend Christmas is by just being off your head for the whole time, and then when work comes back round, however long your break is, you just go back to work, and that's the easiest way to spend it. It's definitely not the best, and it fucking bites you in the arse, either long term or short term. But I think the easiest way to spend this 2 weeks would to just be off my head every day on beers, and that's I've done that before, and I know where it ends up. But when you're doing it, it's easy, isn't it? And we've spoke about how easy it is to drink before, but I think there's a reason people drink so much at Christmas, and it's because you've got so much time just
Yeah,
thinking and just sitting and passing around various items that you don't want to eat. And have you seen these? Seen this board game? And by day 5, you sort of lost your mind a little bit. Well, I have anyway.
yeah. I think that what I've noticed this year, obviously, is my first sober Christmas, and I would definitely sort of say I would agree 100%. It's really difficult to stay sober. Really difficult. The easiest thing to do is just plough a load of drink down you, isn't it? But the like on the point of time that you mentioned, one thing I sort of have massively noticed this year is the time. I got to Christmas Day and it was a really difficult day for me at points. Um, I I tried to count. I think I cried 3 or 4 times through different emotions of sort of crying early doors because I wasn't hungover. I wasn't in the doghouse. I hadn't, blown it on Christmas Eve again. Um, and I was up with the kids and I was just kind of overwhelmed just watching them. So I had a bit of a cry then, which is great. And then we went to pick my old man up and go to the pub, and I had a bit of a cry on the way in the front seat because it suddenly dawned on me going back to what we said, it suddenly dawned on me that I couldn't have a beer with him at Christmas, and
Yeah,
there's just something unwritten, isn't there, about sharing a beer with your loved ones or your family or your friends, whoever. It's just something unwritten that we've all learned. And it suddenly dawned on me, I can't do that this year. And I had a 0 Guinness with him. And it wouldn't matter to him. He just sits there and he has a pint of fucking Bombardier or whatever he has. And it doesn't mean a thing to him. He does not care that I've got a Guinness 0 or anything like that.
no,
But to me, it was the biggest thing in the world.
yeah,
So and so you kind of I had all these little moments, 3 or 4 cries and stuff. And then it got to about 6 or 7 at night. And I was just hit by this sort of wave of emotion of oh God, it's just another day. It is literally just a normal day.
yeah,
And all you've got to do is not drink. And then, we played some games and other people, and then people sort of start to decline at that point. The food's gone down, they've tucked into the cheese, there's a few wines, there's a few, the spirits come out, the gin and tonics or whatever. And you start to sort of see people slope off, and you sort of think, oh, glad that's not going to be me tomorrow morning with a massive hangover. And then I got into bed about 11 at night and just cried again. Just cried in bed for the final time of the day. And I think that's just me. Like my go-to emotion seems to be tears for
yeah,
good, bad, and indifferent. I just well up.
yeah,
I cried yesterday at Zootopia too for no reason really.
yeah,
Just the fact that I was sitting there with my son, and I was like, "This is amazing, isn't it? I'm not drunk. I've not
yeah,
spent my Christmas hungover. I can take him to the cinema." And I know you've probably had moments like that, but there's these just so normal situations that you should be in that you never can put yourself in as a drunk because
yeah,
you're never there. So yeah, and I just the end of my Christmas day was just spent, sobbing in bed,
yeah,
just like a release, like yes, I've done it,
yeah,
and a realization that it wasn't that hard. You've just got to hang in there.
yeah,
You've got to not give in and just, like I said, it's just a day. It really is, but it's difficult to see that in the moment. It was really, really difficult thing to do. But at the same time, It's not that difficult to do. It's not hard to not drink, is it?
No, well, again, it's for me, it's not. For other people, it might be, and I think me and you are lucky that we've got um, a job, a family,
Yeah.
you know, a support network. Because all I do now is Christmas is coming round. I'm like, right, I'm just going to make it as exciting as I can for the kids. And I'm really lucky I've got that as a distraction, because I think if I didn't have that, I've obviously got my wife and I could make it exciting for her. But there's only so much you can do, really, with an adult. So it's, you know, having kids is just an amazing reason to make Christmas an event.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for them, I don't know how much I'd actually partake in it. And you know, I'd do all the bits, but just
It's
yeah,
Christmas is better with kids, isn't it? It's the joy.
100%, yeah.
The joy of Christmas is with children, 100%.
I did go to church though on Christmas Eve. I always used to go to church in England with my mum on Christmas Day. It was the only day of the year we'd go to church. But I went with my wife. Neither of us are really religious, but we just went with the kids. And I cried at church just because Christmas Eve was probably biggest drinking day of the year for me historically. And I've spoke about the chairman's Christmas
The chairman's, yeah.
and just being in church, you know, the messages he was saying, some of which were, you know, religious in a way that I don't relate to, but I just felt really peaceful, and I was like, it's crazy that I'm doing this now, and I'm happy. And you know, we left and then had dinner and went to bed, and I was just like, yeah, this is nice. It might not be the crazy, you know, smashing pint glasses on people's heads, drinking poppers and all the mayhem, throwing a kebab. One of my mates once threw a full frozen kebab through a kebab shop window. All of that stuff. It's like, I just couldn't be arsed with that anymore. And it's
Why was
like,
it frozen?
because it was out the back room of the same kebab shop. It was so basically he had a disagreement with the kebab shop owner. He said, I'll show him. He went into their back freezer room, got
Right.
the full Donna wheel.
Yeah,
I'll call
so this is not just like it's like they've not cut it off. It's not in a pita bread then, and it's uncooked. This is like a big skewer.
The full skewer that you see that
Wow.
they shave from. Full
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of them through the window. Like 2007, 2008.
That was it.
That was the peak of Christmas for everyone, I think, worldwide, regardless
Really?
of age. Regardless of everyone's age. I think maybe Rage was Christmas #1 that year.
Why did that happen?
I don't know. I think people had just had enough of Christmas. That was the start of the revolution.
Was it really? I remember
Maybe.
that now, yeah.
Yeah. And it got it, and I was happy. But maybe that's what turned the tides of the Christmas spirit, and now it's...
Yeah, symbolised in a kebab. Frozen kebab through a window.
Yeah, yeah, to Killing the Night, a protest song. So there you go.
Yeah, two killing in the name of in the background.
You're tuned into the dirty work with Sam and Megsy, where the work is really dirty. Same?
So
Do you know what I realised
Different.
about Christmas this year as well is not being drunk is that lack of a crash. There's so much time, as we sort of said previously. I sort of realised on Christmas Day, I've got like another week of holiday left, and that probably annoyed and frustrated you because you want January here. But for me, I was like, because usually I'd be used to like Christmas Day, you can probably write off another 2 or 3 days because you either go back out on the piss boxing day or you're incredibly hungover, so you just lose a day there, and then you'll lose the 27th because you're still tired, you're still hungover. You might well be able to watch some films and eat some pork pie, but you just lose days to doing fuck all.
Yeah.
I realised this year, like I can just do stuff. I
Yeah.
can just do things. I've got so much time because I haven't. I'm not, and that's the thing. I've there's loads of celebrities and stuff. The thing about drinking is you're borrowing, aren't you, from the days
Yeah.
when you drink on that night. You're borrowing from tomorrow because you're going to be shit.
Yeah.
So you're not borrowing all that time, and that's just something that really dawned on me this time of year. Was how much time between Christmas and today, New Year, I've actually had for myself.
Yeah. You're not borrowing. That's why you're not worrying, are you?
Yeah,
Because you're not
and
borrowing.
that's it. That is
Yeah.
exactly it. But it's another one of those things that I've heard umpteen people say on Facebook and everything like that. And until you live it and until the penny drops, you're like, oh God, that's what that means.
Yeah. Me and you have got a relationship that's very like give and take. I think is the right word. And but still, I have still got more trinkets than you. So sometimes I am
Yeah.
saying stuff that you haven't experienced yet, and I know for a fact that sometimes it makes me feel good that like I'm going like, yeah, he's gonna like experience this soon, and that's definitely a bit of like ego massaging that I think goes on in the sober community. You know, like a bit
Yeah.
of a Gandalf character, just going like, keep going, 2 weeks, you'll see, and then them go, yeah, yeah, you're right, it's great, isn't it? And you go, yep, told you. I do think there's
Yeah.
people in the sober community, especially in AA. I'm positive that one of the AA meetings I went to, there was a man sitting at the front dressed as a wizard. I'm sure of it. Like it was the sleeves, and I was like, "Are they
Yeah.
wizard sleeves hanging on the chair?" Because he was acting like a wizard that was the oracle of. He was like 80 years sober or something as well, and it was just like, yeah, I was. He was definitely massaging his ego at the AA meeting that day. Having
Mm.
talking to you, it's sort of a constant reminder of the stuff I need to keep going over. You know, unfortunately, you can't just do a course online and then you're like set for life, and you just can be a normal person who just doesn't need to drink or do drugs or bet on the horses or whatever. It's a constant sort of appraisals you have to do of yourself bi-monthly or daily. Well, it is daily, isn't it? We've discussed that. So it's I think a huge part of why AA is so good is it's a constant like reminder for people at different stages of all the different emotions and feelings of just real life that happens when
Yeah.
you're not blocking it out with stuff. That's all we're doing really, is just we're not blocking out stuff anymore, and with that comes a lot of admin, especially when you've got a very sort of hyperactive brain like mine, and probably yours as well. It's just tough work, but it's so beneficial and positive, that it's just so worthwhile, isn't it?
Oh, unbelievably so. Unbelievably worthwhile if you can get through that abstinence stage of gritting, because there is a period of it where you have to grit not drinking every day.
Yeah,
And drawing on Christmas Day again, I 100% woke up Boxing Day and felt stronger. Christmas Day for me this year was a real achievement. I often struggle with saying I'm never going to drink again, but I think at the moment, certainly second time around with sobriety, I sort of look at myself and I say to myself, look, no, I don't have the question now, will you ever drink again? Can you do that? It's more, can I imagine a life where I'm drinking again? And that's very hard to do now. Very hard for me to imagine me going back to that chaos. And on the opposite side of the coin, instead of asking myself, instead of fixating on I'm never going to drink again, sort of saying, can you imagine yourself living like this for the rest of your life?
yeah,
Absolutely, I can. Absolutely, I can. I can do that because it's great.
Are you working? What kind of work do you do?
It's such a shame that the benefits of not actively engaging in an addiction, the benefits of getting over that hurdle and living a life without it, are like, you can't really talk about them. There's no words to explain the benefits you really get, but the things you have to sacrifice are very like tangible, aren't they? Like the things you have to
Oh,
miss out on a day-to-day basis are so obvious, and they're so uncomfortable in the immediate. Like Christmas Day, you're bored, you're pissed off. Like it's so obvious what the drawbacks of quitting something are, but the actual
yeah.
positives of it, you can't really put your finger on it until you
They're all very
experience it.
internal. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
very hard to quantify and describe to people, aren't they? But yeah, massive. That missing out is a huge part of it. That's why so many people drink, isn't it? To join in.
yeah,
That's very obvious. That's one of the most scary things, isn't it? What am I going to do without drink? I thought about this Christmas Day. Because you sit there thinking, I'd love a beer, I'd love to join in, and then you start thinking, okay, what am I missing? What am I joining in on? And there is a certain amount of merriment, isn't there? You know,
yeah,
and for anybody that can use alcohol responsibly and it doesn't impact their life, then it's still okay, isn't it? It's still a pretty great drug.
yeah,
If you're not you're not a maniac with it. But it does bring a heavy amount of consequences the next day as well.
yeah.
You've got to be willing to put up the rough with the smooth, I guess.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think that's the point you have to get to, is once it's obvious that the consequences are just, in bucket loads, and the actual benefits of the drink or the drug aren't that apparent anymore. That's when it's time you've got to ask yourself these tough questions, and it's people put off that for years, don't they? And sometimes their whole
yeah, I
lives.
think
And
definitely for me, and probably for you as well. I'm sure you would say this, but towards the end of drinking and drug taking, the fun has gone, hasn't it?
yeah,
There's no merriment anymore.
no,
It's very destructive, um, very very lonesome, I guess, very lonely.
yeah.
I know I was.
I think back to like about 6 Christmases ago, I had a stomach bug, and Boxing Day was another big day of drinking, and I was adamant I was going out Boxing Day, and I had a sickness bug, but I basically drank myself better. I was like, if I drink enough beer, you can't have a sickness bug when you're that drunk. So
No, I've tried to drink away illness and
I,
colds and all
I
sorts.
did
Yeah.
successfully, I'm sure, drink the bug away for Boxing Day. I was still ill, but I went out and I got to the pub, and it was like a half an hour walk to the pub as well. It was snowing. Yeah, I drank the bug away, which was good. But that was my main concern that Christmas. And I had kids then. It's just like, yeah, madness, isn't it?
Alright, you lot. Time for dirty questions from you, dirty listeners. Dirty buggers. Dirty listeners. Dirty buggers.
So this one is an audio question, first ever audio question sent in.
My question is for Harris, aka Raul Morales. Back in the day, we used to have an event on a night out where we'd actively try and find leftover pizzas, usually in jitties. I think people would get real pissed, order a pizza, get halfway up there knackered and just couldn't be asked to carry it. We used to find these pizzas, which were sometimes still hot, and eat the rest of the slices. So my question is, does Harris still do that now that he's sober?
Wow, thanks for that. Do I still do that? It's quite it's quite a coincidence actually, because very recently in the last 6 weeks, I've thought about this, this old habit that we used to have because there was quite a few of us. There was a little, I don't know why, but we just started basically eating out of bins outside the takeaway. Because I've no idea, because we would have had money, surely. We wouldn't have been broke, but it used to be amazing that like people would have, massive kebab or a pizza and then be so pissed that they'd just discard it. So, yeah, we did. I would tell the original, it wasn't, I can't name him. I don't want to name him, but the original, we were on a lad's holiday in Malia, got to be like 2004 or something, and we were walking down to the beach, down the strip the next day, and there was this pizza box. It's like, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. So this pizza box has been there since the night before, and it's closed. And it's been driven over by something as well. So there's like a tyre track going through it. And this lad opened the pizza box up, and there was a tyre track through the pizza as well. And he just started eating it the next
That's good.
morning as his breakfast, which was quite funny. And then, so from there, we kind of continued it on, just bin snapping or bin scranning as it was. So it did, and it moved from bins to just like if people had, I don't know why I'm going on about this now, but if the takeaway had like tables and chairs in it, like there was a sit down area or something, and people left chicken bones that were sort of half eaten, it has been known to just get a few scraps.
Yeah,
And we'd be like making a scene, like they've left good meat here. What's going on?
yeah,
People don't like there was a war on or something. There's a
yeah,
war on here.
yeah.
People are leaving good chicken. So I don't know. That is one of those things when you're steaming that was the height of hilarity. Not so much now, but in the last 6 weeks, I have had a kebab at home which I couldn't quite finish. And I left it on the side. I thought I'll have that tomorrow morning. Like
Yeah,
just roll back the years and have because I don't do that very often now. And now I'm a bit more healthy. I try and throw a takeaway away that night
yeah.
because I don't like because eating it the next day is just doubling down, isn't it? So I don't often do it, but I left this kebab on the side, and Lauren had slung it in the bin. This can only be in November this year. And I did, I did have bin kebab the next day,
Oh no.
fished it out the bin. And it did make me think of just that, actually,
Yeah.
coincidentally, the anonymous voice messenger. So, no, don't do it on nights out anymore. But I
But you
think
do it in the house out of choice when you've got other food available.
once you're a platinum card member to the bin scranners, then you do find it tough to not take every opportunity you can.
Yeah,
So yeah, I have. I'm no stranger to bin kebab.
yeah. I've never done that. I don't think I've ever found. It's just not on my radar when I'm drinking food.
Really?
It's just I'm not bothered about it at all.
Oh yeah. I see. I love it. I loved. That's the best part of the night for me. That's when I was still drinking. I'd class myself as still being. I was a pisshead, but I was still a social enjoyment drinker then. Because I'd just get to a point in the night and I'd be like, right, gonna have about 14 pizzas. And I just, wanted to food. When I stopped wanting to eat food, that was a sign that I'd changed as a drinker. Because
Yeah,
there's a period where takeaways, and I'd go out for meals, just wouldn't eat. People around,
yeah.
I'd
Same.
order like olives
Yeah,
because I couldn't think about eating. Definitely, we used to like people in a restaurant and they'd have 3 courses, and I would just have an olive starter,
yeah,
sit there and drink 2 bottles of wine.
yeah, yeah. I used to hate going out for meals towards the end because it would just be awkward, um, like ordering another beer again, and you'd have to find like a waitress who was a bit game, who you could go like have a bit of banter with and go like, yeah, another one. having a good time, but deep down you're like, fuck, you need to be bringing these quicker, please. Like,
Yeah.
just more, like one every 5 minutes. Get the message, come on. And there's some restaurants that just don't play the game with you, and you're like, do you want to earn? Like, I could give you 200 quid right now in beer money, like if you just keep them coming. And they obviously don't know you're a raging alcoholic, so
No, that they're employed to serve food.
yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that, to be fair. But yeah,
Yeah.
my eating was terrible towards the end. Like, I'd have, especially in Australia when I started drinking again, I'd have these like barbecues, and I'd call them barbecues. I'd cook all the food as well, but I just wouldn't eat at all. I'd just
Not eat any of it, yeah.
yeah, I'd just drink all day. I don't really have them any. I just have normal barbecues
Was
now where I
was
eat.
that for any other reason? I just know this for me is that I definitely got into. I know there's the age-old saying of eating's cheating,
Yeah,
but I definitely towards the end of my drinking, I definitely convinced myself that I was going to be less pissed. Like as a really quite serious point, I didn't eat because I wanted to be more pissed.
yeah, always doing that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's quite a serious thing. I wasn't just like eating's cheating, having a bit of a joke. I was, really laser like, no, I'm not eating.
yeah, yeah. I remember doing that
I'm
at my
going to be,
sister's wedding.
I'm
Yeah,
going to be less pissed. If I have a burger now, I'm going to be less pissed. So no chance.
yeah, yeah. I do days sometimes, like especially around Christmas and stuff. I remember my sister's wedding. I woke up and I didn't have any breakfast. I remember having like I had a hip flask, so I had a whole hip flask of something. I can't remember what it was. It might have been rum, and I remember having the lime as like my food source for like the lime that I'd have with the rum. I'd be like, well, that's a fruit, so that's breakfast.
Got to be a few vitamins in
Yeah, it's
that,
a
surely.
fruit platter, and I just didn't eat for the whole day. And I obviously I woke up in the middle of a field without a phone or a wife or a child, so that didn't end well. But yeah, it's crazy not eating, isn't it? Like not eating for 2 days, I couldn't think. I know people, you've done fasting, haven't you? But fuck,
Yeah,
I couldn't think of anything worse to put myself through, like just so I could drink more. It's mental.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking of something then, and totally forgot. I just paused to say something and then
No,
didn't say
that's
anything.
fine. That's that question. That's that question done. I got one more question as well, and then I think we maybe do the video as well.
Yeah, I've got time.
I was going to do the video when we were speaking about something because you said something perfectly that was about the video.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, and I should have just done it then, but I was like, oh no, save it. But I'll do this question because it's the first question that got sent in, and he's a good mate of mine as well, and it's more from a mental health sort of place, I think. And it's a simple one, and I think your answer might be very different to mine, and it's going to be completely underwhelming now. But how have you found hobbies and activities helped you with your mental health and being sober? So, have you noticed a change in your hobby uptake or the activities you do? Or is there stuff now you sort of make sure you do? And it doesn't have to be a hobby, but like events that you give yourself throughout the week. And it's a broad question, isn't it? But because I've got a definite answer for it. But what does your sort of weekly free time look like now?
I
And
mean,
why?
yeah, 100%. There is a massive difference between the old me and the new me, and it's. I mean, exercise is the one thing that I do more now. I go to the gym 3 or 4 times a week at 4:30 in the morning. Because as we've discussed, I seem to have this thing where I like to do things that are difficult. I like to make it just that little bit more difficult. I don't just want to go for a run. I want to go and run a marathon.
Yeah.
I'm one of those extreme guys, and getting up at 4:30 in the morning for the gym, I can say to myself, yes, I've been to the gym and I've got up at 4:30 in the morning. So that's something that, exercise. And on on that, something I know I've struggled with this year because I've had that ACL operation in August, and so post ACL, I haven't been able to run. I've actually started running this week. Don't know if I told you. Did I tell you?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
So that's been massive. That was another time I cried when I was got on the treadmill. And I was like, fucking, it's 18 weeks since I last ran. And I was just like, wow. Just putting one foot in front of the other, crying on the treadmill, with this little Indian guy next to me, probably looking at me like, what is he doing? But I know not being able to run and not being able to have that habit, hobby, or whatever it is, made sobriety that little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
It doesn't, I think for me, it stops me running, and the gym gives me the dopamine that alcohol gave me, that rush.
Yeah.
And that is something that has been difficult to not have, because the gym for me isn't quite the same as running. Running seems to be my thing.
Yeah.
Long distance running seems to be the one thing that really gives me something that alcohol gave me. And that is, I mean, that's just me personally. Other people might find that. I think it's quite important, isn't it? If you go into just generalizing, I think if you're going to succeed, you do need something to replace alcohol, don't you? You
Yeah.
can't just sit there and go, well, that's it, I'm done now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got to find something to have, haven't you? And long distance running just seems to be the one for me. That is the thing.
Yeah.
A lot of people get into exercise, don't they? It's not. It goes hand in hand with living a bit nicer, living a bit cleaner. Exercise goes hand in hand with sobriety, but yeah, long distance running for me is the one.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. I struggle with. I think we said last week about how you don't know how you used to fit. You used to be so busy, but just busy doing nothing really, but drinking.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm now still just as busy, but it's like a constant battle managing my interests really, and like prioritizing how much I need to do to keep me sane, but then also being around enough and present for my family and stuff, and just to be like a normal person as well. Um, and it's almost like it's made my life harder in a way not drinking, because well, it has made it harder because
I think
when
yeah that's one of the reasons I go at 4:30 in the morning.
yeah.
Because like you're saying now, you have to have that balance, don't you? You can't just
Mm.
go and just tear off. Yeah.
Yeah, and now it's hard because I've got all these hobbies that I've always had, all these interests that I've always had, but because I'm actually focusing like my energy and my brain cells on them, and I'm like, you actually become passionate about things, don't you? Once you get rid of the drink and that, and I'm like passionate about these activities that I want to do, but then I'm also passionate about making my kids and wife happy, and it's like a really hard part of my life now that I've got to get like the balance of. Whereas before I just didn't give a fuck about any of that. I was just on planet Sam, drinking on my
Yeah,
own.
it's quite a
Um,
good point that is, because you do. I know we've said before you can't get sober for, or you can't stop this sort of thing for anybody else, but yourself.
mm,
Ultimately you have to do this for yourself, and it does. I think in the very early days, sobriety can be extremely selfish, because you have to be so focused on yourself and not drinking, and finding where you get that dopamine, and finding these new routines and doing. There does come a point in it where you have to start managing yourself a bit better, because you will, you'll you do neglect your family a little bit.
Yeah, you have
You
to.
know, you are doing this for yourself, but it's for your family's benefit, for your friends' benefit, and there is a really fine. There just come a point in it where you have to start balancing the scales, don't you?
Yeah,
You can't just keep going. You can't just go running for 8 hours a day, come home
yeah,
and say, "Yeah, I'm off. I'm going to have a bath and go to bed now.
yeah.
I've not
Doesn't work, does
drank."
it? But it's a real process of like, it's like looking through. Stopping drinking for me, it was like after the initial getting over the not drinking part, then you are just left with like this autobiography up to this point that you didn't know about, that sort of day by day explains who you are as a person, and sometimes you can't focus on anything else other than like, oh fucking hell, yeah, I've actually got like loads of unresolved trauma, or not. That wasn't the case for me, but there was trauma and stuff, and there was stuff I'd done that I hadn't been honest about, and all this stuff. And it's like a daily like fucking stuff coming to you, bad memories coming to you, even now, like as we speak about potentially throwing a kebab through a window and stuff.
Yeah,
It's just a daily thing of like getting hit with
eating out the
memories.
bins.
Yeah, eating out of bins still, and yeah, it's hard to be present when you've got that going on. And it's actually, I'm glad we're talking about this because I want people who don't have these problems to like hopefully be interested in what we're talking about, and from the not be oh maybe that's why they're selfish, for weeks on end when they've just stopped drinking, because basically they're going through a very intense, rigorous, like almost like a hard drive uploading everything and all these emotions that you haven't felt since you were 15, and like just it's an overwhelming amount of information that comes to you when you have that clarity of not having alcohol running through your bloody veins. It's a lot to take on, isn't it?
It's the single most difficult thing about early sobriety. Is it sounds daft, but just feeling things. I don't quite know how to put it into words, but just suddenly feeling things is unbearable at
Yeah,
times because
yeah,
you've never felt anything. Like I know we've said it before. Like we've got songs that we used to put on just to cry. You know what I mean? Sad songs that evoke memories and old things. Just when you were drunk, just to cry to, because you're not feeling anything. You're
yeah,
just hungover and drunk all the time, and then you take the drink away, and you're just exposed to real emotions and real feelings, and it's hard. It's
yeah,
really hard to be like, God, I'm sad. I'm happy. I have remorse. I have
yeah,
regret. You
yeah,
know, and I can't just go and have a pint and forget about all of this shit now. I've got to think about it. I've got to process it. I've got to
yeah,
deal with it. I've got to look what I do in the future to not be like that again. And you just feel, don't you? You just feel everything, and it's hard. It does make you selfish. You do,
yeah,
because you have to go into this little zone of like, who am I? What am I doing? Why am I getting it so wrong? And
yeah,
how do I be
yeah.
better for all these people? Um, and yeah, it does make you a little bit selfish. Um,
I think that's probably why so many people go back. Can't do it long term. Is it's like it's like the grief thing. Like it almost never gets easier, but you just get more accustomed to the hardness as time goes on. Um, like it, like Christmas for example, just gone. It definitely wasn't easier than 2 Christmases ago, my first sober Christmas. But I've just got like more tools in play, more subs on the bench to bring on, and like more things that I can think about and techniques that I've learnt. But I still find it hard. It's just I'm more used to that hardness on a daily basis now, that it sort of becomes who you are, just having to struggle at times with social settings or parties, or losing at donuters
Yeah.
stuff like it's
I'm
it's
not sure I'll
mad.
ever get used to that.
Yeah. So yeah, that question was about hobbies. We didn't really talk about hobbies at all, but
No.
we did talk about how your week changes from stuff you do. Because I've got specific hobbies that really do help me now. That I've never felt that feeling of doing something that actually immediately is like releasing a feeling. Whereas alcohol does do that. It immediately releases any feeling you've got in a very handy way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
think to sort of to just briefly answer it, I think you do have to get some hobbies, as we said. You have to find something to replace alcohol. On that, have you? And I'm thinking about drums in particular here because I started playing when I was 14 or something like that, and I am what I would call moderately okay at playing the drums. And until 18 months ago, I I I got myself to a point where I was pretty all right at playing the drums, and I think to myself now, how the fuck did you learn to do this? Because you never paid attention to anything or anyone. You never had time to properly practice. Like I've become a much better drummer in the last 18 months than I'd ever become in
Yeah,
in that time. And I just because you're busy doing nothing. And I just wonder how the hell did I pick up this skill? How did I learn to do that?
yeah,
Whilst I was boozing and getting off me nut.
yeah,
It's it's crazy.
yeah. It takes a lot of real estate, doesn't it? Um,
I think, like you said, you had all these hobbies before. Like you
yeah,
enjoyed this stuff before, but you were never really. It sounds daft, doesn't it, to make yourself like a reasonable drummer without actually ever applying yourself to do it.
yeah. Well,
It's mad how you can do it.
it's this slow like poison ivy, isn't it, that wraps its way into every facet of your life if you let it. And for me, it was like love surfing. Yeah, you can maybe have a beer after every surf. Beer always tastes good after a surf, so that's that. I love playing music. Every time I'll play music, I'll get pissed because obviously every musician drinks,
Yeah.
and you just
I used to think I played better
yeah
when I was pissed.
yeah you'll think of any reason under the sun to have a
Yeah.
beer with whatever hobby you're doing, like painting. Yeah, all artists are pissheads, so like of course I'm going to drink while I paint, and it definitely doesn't make you better at anything. Like it just doesn't.
No,
But
no, no, no,
it
no.
really does get it worms its way in into your photo, doesn't it? It worms its way into every single hobby you've got. Until eventually, most people they'll end up with no hobbies because they're just, I'll just drink then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
sad,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Actually, fuck the drumsticks. I'm just
yeah.
gonna drink.
Even like
Yeah, I'm gonna start.
going to gigs and stuff for people who have a drinking problem ends up just like it's just another place to get drunk.
I
It's
can't
not
tell you the amount of songs I've missed, and I've been there for. I just don't remember them.
yeah, being at the
Can't
bar.
tell you the
Yeah,
amount of times I've been and not remembered like the encore or not remembered how they finished. It's 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 terrible, isn't it? Because you paid big money to see these people and you love them. You listen to them all year round. They're your favourite artists ever, and all you're actually excited about is because they're going to be in the same room as you whilst you have 12 quid pints of San Miguel, two
yeah,
pinters. They're going to be in the same room as you playing their songs whilst you get absolutely smashed. That's all you're
yeah.
paying for.
Yeah, it's the gig thing. I hadn't gone to like a sober gig in like years, and then um, a really bad memory. It's just came to me now. I just have to exercise these demons. Um, I've got a mate who's there's a band called Hard Life. They used to be called Easy Life, and they're a Leicester band. And I've got a mate who worked at the O2, and I've got a mate who was their photographer as well. And they had this big, it was like their first big show in Leicester. And my mate was their photographer, so he's like, oh, come backstage before the gig and stuff. And like I knew one of them through rugby as well, so it was like all sound. So there's like a few of us went, and I was pissed before we got there. And then we went backstage in the inverted commas green room, and they had this beer fridge. And as soon as I went in, I was like, right, nice to meet you all, but locked eyes with the beer fridge, like not, but nice to meet you mainly. And I didn't even know, but I drank all their beers. And they finished the gig and were like giving each other high fives. And it was like not at the point, like they're quite a big band now, but they hadn't quite blown up yet. So they weren't like they were getting like Guns N' Roses riders where it's like, you know, like 6 bottles of Smirnoff, 20 cartons of beer. Like it was, they probably got given like 12 Carling or something. And I drank them all in their green room while they were playing.
While they were playing, didn't even go and watch them.
There was a Fireball as well. I had a bottle of Fireball. I remember peering out through the side of the stage, going like, yeah, music, whatever, not interested in that. Drank it all. Then they got back from this gig, backstage, giving each other high fives. That was amazing. Let's have a beer. And there's no beer. And like looking round, like, well, can someone get us a beer, please? Like, we've just played like 2 hours to like 20,000 people. I don't remember any of this. There's actually a photo of me passed out in like the leaves outside the venue. Just asleep in the autumn leaves, having had all of Easy Life's beers. So yeah, that's just came to me right now. And it's that's why I don't drink at gigs anymore. Because then like 2 months later I went to see Amel and the Sniffers, who are like an Australian punk band, sober, because I had a game the next day. And I was like, fucking hell, that was so good. Did anyone see that? It was like a real band. Like, and you know, I'd witnessed a band for like the first time in years, sober. And that's another myth, isn't it? That like gigs and stuff and football matches are better when you're pissed. Like, are you joking me? They're so much worse.
Yeah, I don't know about football gigs. Football, sometimes sitting watching regional Detective Barrow does make you want to reach for the brandy.
Yeah. Yeah, have a brandy and a bin kebab.
Yeah, when they're 3-0 down to Chesterfield, after 20 minutes. Yeah, but gigs, yeah, it's a big myth. That is something I've experienced this year. Is that gigs sober are pretty cool.
Yeah, you cry at
Pretty
them, don't
cool
you?
indeed.
Like, I cried at Oasis about 3 times, I think.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
They're overwhelming. They are good. Yeah.